And welcome back, friends. Just kind of sitting here chilling by the fire. Just finished selling some things, upgrading armor, people, runes, all that sort of fun stuff. And really the most disheartening thing is I've been here once before, recorded this whole thing, and then 6 hours later finished, happy, made great progress, only to come and find out that I didn't record the game audio. And that's no fun when you're just kind of listening to blank background and nothing else. Yeah, it was really kind of boring because, you'd hear me respond to things that people said, but you'd actually have to read it, and sometimes there's not enough time, and I figured it just wasn't worth it to, proceed without any game audio, because you miss the amazing music, you miss the inflections of the voices, and, just stuff like that. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and re-record it all. And so basically, I decided that instead of going straight to Denerim, I'm going to try to gain more allies. So I'm going to Orzammar here to get the Dwarves, and then I'll probably head to the Brazilian Forest to get the Elves. So all of this stuff that's about to happen in like the next 6 hours worth, just about side quests, main quests, little tidbits of information here and there. It's going to be very fresh in my mind, so hopefully I'll be able to breeze through it a lot quicker.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched?
The answer is
yes. You
yes.
are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Oh, I'm going to find lots of help. I'm going to be sent on many errands.
Warden.
Those statues of Dwarven paragons.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter.
Best of
if you
their
work hard like
ancestors.
Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
For the love of paragons.
Don't say that. Not to me, not to anyone. Get back to the forge. I want to see more details. Yes, Mother.
So, the person they're talking about is the most recent paragon of Orzammar. And a paragon is basically someone
going to get back to what it was
who had
I don't know.
such brilliance that brilliance in some respect, that they were promoted to a place of honor. They got their own house, their family name was recorded in their memoirs, their history, their libraries.
Even if I survive this blight, I am...
Basically, to become a paragon is to become a nobleman. You could be from
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the diamond quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You not speak that way about the man who should be king!
So basically, paragons are just escalated to noblemen, whether they're from a low caste or not.
I'll have him in the Legion.
And what you just saw go on there was Balin, the king's son, against Lord Harrowmont, the king's advisor. And the king's son's bodyguard, I think is who it was, shield me. I forget what they really call him. He just took out one of the guards. And the captain of the guard will fill us in.
Vieta! Enough crime without some castless carrying weapons in the city. Your actions risk pain of death. Name yourself.
You bother a Grey Warden on risk of lots of pain. No, we all know that I can't just, greet people in a mean way. I gotta be open to it. Caste means nothing. My name is Drundar.
The Grey Warden recruit? They said you were a brand, but I thought it a joke.
You're a
Sorcerers
joke.
and their cloud-addled heads. Fine, O illustrious Grey Warden. What do you want?
I want you to get out of my way and lose the attitude. The blight is coming and I need Orzammar's assistance.
Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here.
Sounds like Balin and Harrowmont are the ones I need to talk to.
They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate.
And you mentioned
Are
paragons?
you sure you're still a dwarf? Ancestors have patience. If Bronca could hear this, well, I wouldn't be standing in dried blood. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter.
Alright, let's get to it.
Yes, you should.
I'll kill you later.
Where did they put all the rock, I wonder?
That is a good question. Perhaps it's everything made here.
Ancestors. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them.
No. I heard you mention your
My
son.
name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith Caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul.
Safe return? He's missing?
It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them.
Well, you want me to go look for him? Because I kind of know where he's at. You know, been there, done that.
How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself.
Which I can do. That is, after all, what we Grey Wardens do.
A warden? So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company packing them. Oh,
Kinda
thank
easy.
you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Filda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
So finding her son is actually kind of fun.
What is that smell? Dwarven vomit. Charming.
Maker's blessing on you, brother.
May his divine spirit always light your way. And why are you invoking a human god? You're a dwarf.
The Maker brought forth this world and every creature in it. He chose a human woman as his prophet and bride, but he loves all races. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
And whose permission do you need?
The Shaperate controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memories' permission to open a prayer meeting.
Want me to talk to him for you?
Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that.
I knew you'd say that.
Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Another pretty simple quest. Just, you know, done and over with sort of thing. So the Shaperate, as you kind of learn to find out, is basically Orzammar's library. It is their historian, basically. It records everything that happened and will happen and has happened, you know, the history and the future of Orzammar.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Certainly.
Oh, I actually was talking to your companions, or are you from the surface too?
You could say that.
Oh, wonderful. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle?
Why is a dwarf interested in the circle? After all, you cannot perform magic.
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study.
You want to leave Orzammar?
I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing.
Sounds like a fair trade. You want me to bring them the missive?
That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Well, there's some noble aspirations there. Truthfully, I don't know what happens to her afterward.
I can't believe it. I heard a Dwarven Grey Warden came to Orzammar and I couldn't help but hope. Look at you. My little brother, the returning hero.
It's
and
good
with
to see you,
quite the
Rika.
unusual entourage.
Rika, is that you under all those jewels?
Can you imagine? As of last month, I'm a royal concubine to House Iduken. They've moved Mother and me into the palace. You could fit our whole neighborhood just in the bathing room. I wish you could meet little Endrin, but they don't let me bring him outside the royal nursery.
You're a mother in a month?
Little Endrin was born right before his grandfather died. His grandfather, the king. Can you believe it? My son is an Iduken. The future king of Orzammar spends his nights in my bed. Barat was a toad, but I have to thank him for teaching me to read, dance, massage, and whatever else Balin sees in me.
Wow, that is quite a quick turnaround for you dwarves. But Balin kind of killed people, poisoned his father, killed his brother.
That's a horrible, vicious lie. Balin told me all about it. Lord Harrowmont always favored Balin's older brother, the one who murdered Trian. Balin thinks Harrowmont set the whole thing up to frame him. Then he had the gall to whisper these things to the dying king. When the king sent him away, Balin cried for weeks. Tell me you don't believe these horrible rumors.
Can't promise anything until I know what's happened.
Then you'll have to meet Balin. You'll see what he's like. He's even kind to Mother, and you know how hard that is. But this isn't why you're here. What's wrong? All the news from the surface says terrible things are happening. Darkspawn attacks and a civil war among the humans.
A new blight is beginning, my friend.
Ancestors, save us. I was afraid you'd say that. I hate this. Until there's a king, the Assembly would let the world collapse rather than bow to anyone's better judgment. But I can introduce you to Vartag Gavorn. He's Balin's chief lieutenant. He could help you if anyone could.
You know, that sounds great. I need to get this on the road. Take me to them.
He may be suspicious at first. Don't take it personally. It's been so hard to tell who's against us.
Rika, I'm at the Assembly. This is no place for a woman. What do you mean by this?
Vartag, this is my brother. He comes on behalf of the Grey Wardens, with dreadful news.
Of course. I wasn't thinking. It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and his eclectic entourage. I hear you seek the aid of Orzammar's finest.
And this treaty here obliges Orzammar to send his troops to the surface.
Ancient documents indeed. These were signed in the reign of Eithnar Bimo, Paragon and King. That was 16 generations ago. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Well, Yeah, you know, battling the blight is kind of more important than your stupid politics.
No one wishes this fight over more than Balin. But while it rages, Orzammar can spare no one to combat what may or may not be a new blight.
Are you implying a Grey Warden wouldn't recognize a blight?
I believe you, but what are we to do? If Balin followed his heart and sent his men to aid you, Harrowmont would steal his throne. We would defeat the blight and return to find our homeland devastated by an incompetent tyrant.
And if we don't fight, our homeland gets destroyed.
Perhaps you could prove to Prince Balin your intentions are just. If you show you owe Harrowmont no fealty, I'm sure Balin would help you. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception.
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
Forget it. I don't want to do his dirty work.
Very well, but do not expect my prince to grant your rightful place in his household if you cannot reject Harrowmont's lies. I hope he won't take out any disappointment on your sister. I will be here if you change your mind.
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the assembly of the clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
And you don't recognize a Grey Warden?
Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome back to Orzammar, Warden. A great deal has changed in recent days.
So I've heard.
Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
Is there any way I can break the stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Verender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
So, having done this once before, I already know who I'm siding with and why and that sort of thing. I actually, at one point... Alright, let me talk to this guy.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Verender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I would speak with Lord Harrowmont.
In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you.
So how can I do it?
That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
So, do you want me to find out why they dropped?
That would be enlightening. Though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I'll enter the proving and see why the others withdrew.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the proving master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
You got it.